The big one's obviously probably said his name 1,000 times, Brett Crouch. He's ready to go now. You've seen everything that you need to see for him to be ready to go.
Yeah, he's in the squad. We expect him to play.
Is it the plan for him to play the full game or half a game, or just suck it and see?
We'll manage it as we go. Yep.
How good is it to have him back out there?
Oh, it's good for him. He's done a mountain of training. He's been keen to get going for a number of weeks, and it's important in his build towards round one.
Is he a legitimate chance to play round one if he gets through this? Like that'll be enough footy for him to play round one.
Cross that bridge when we get to it, I think. Yeah.
You surprised by all the attention and fuss that's caused over his comeback, or?
A little bit. I mean, as I've said, we're not going to be a footy club that's going to rely on an individual. And I think it's probably flattering for Brad to get the attention he's getting, and we're keen as he is to get him back out on the park and playing footy. But we're not sitting here going, well, if we don't get Brad Crouch up, we can't win. We've got other guys who have had really good pre-seasons and are pressing their claims for a game as well, and are keen as mustard. So,
how much will what you see in this game decide those last few spots for round one? Or how many spots are up for grabs in your mind?
Oh, it's hard to say exactly how many spots are up for grab. We've got a number of guys obviously still competing. We're fortunate at the moment. We've got nearly 40 guys to choose from this week. Some are probably at early stages and not quite ready. But there's pressure on for spots. So even the guys who won't play this weekend are still realistic chances for round one and can press their claims by playing in the sandful. And it's a good spot to be in. That's what we want. We want that pressure for spots.
How have you seen the recruitment and arrival of Troy Menzel? Some of his teammates have been pretty impressed with him.
Yeah, well, Troy's come in, as I've said previously. He's got his first full pre-season under his belt. He's made some progress in that area, and he's aware that he needs to continue to keep improving that area. And but his attitude towards what we've thrown at him and his ability to keep on keeping on has been great, and he's reaping the benefits now. He's feeling a lot better about his body and his capacity, and now it's about translating that into games.
You pretty thrilled with how the pre-season's panned out? Obviously not many injuries. You got those two long-termers that could be back for round one, and just the results so far. You're pretty happy with how it's panned out?
Yeah, it's going to be a good test this week. We play a Gold Coast side who went to Perth last week, had a few guys out, and they'll bring those guys back who were really, really competitive and really impressive last week. So it's a really good preparation for us going into round one. Obviously we dropped back to 90 rotations this week. We've got 24 we can play, and we'll manage our list to make sure that we give our guys what we expect their exposure will be come round one, and I think most sides will probably do that. So it's a good final preparation for us as we head into round one.
They're right on top in tackles, I think, and contested ball as well. Are they sort of a real finals threat this year, you think?
Yeah, I don't know whether they're a finals threat, but certainly it looks the work they've done in the off-season is focused around the contest and their ability around the contested ball, which is great. I mean, that's exactly the challenge we want going into the main season. And so, as part of rounding off our prep, it'll be great going up there playing on their home ground with a strong side in an area that is a strong focus for us as well. So, it'd be a good challenge.
90 rotations, is this like almost a trial for you to see how you're going to work that in the regular season, or are you pretty set on what you want to do?
No, it'll be a bit of a trial. We've obviously used the lots of numbers we've had in the first two games and been able to rotate a bit more heavily than we're going to be able to in the main season. So it will be a bit of a trial. It's important the players get some exposure to the time on ground they're likely to experience in round one, so it's not a shock on the way through. So yeah, we'll have a rotation system which will roll out, which will give the players not only exposure to it but also some feeling for what that rotation looks like. So they've got some familiarity, if you like, come round one.
Brad, Don, I know you talked about it. Sorry, the rookie with Matty Yench being out of the side. Are you likely to upgrade before the start of the season, or is that a decision that you'll leave?
We'll leave that decision. We'll see what presents in terms of the squad and what our needs might be.
Last couple of
Don, you mentioned in the briefing how impressed you were about the resilience of the grief about what's happened with Phil's death. Are you comfortable talking about how you've addressed that in pre-season, or have you used it? Do you mention Phil, or do you deliberately not mention it? Or?
No, I think what we've done through the pre-season, it's more each player reflects on it differently. and certainly they're dealing with that, and they've come back, and we haven't really spoken about it. It's more they recognise we need to move on as a footy club. Some, I'm sure, are grateful for the lessons they learnt last year, both when he was around, but also through the events. And as I said, that provides an opportunity for growth. And I think some of our guys have grown through that unfortunate event.
So is that a deliberate sort of your tactic to come in and not?
I don't know if it's a deliberate tactic. I think it's probably more just how we evolve, really. I think they've had that time away from the footy club to have their own moment of reflection and understand that. And as we know, people grow in different ways and through different experiences, and sometimes it takes a negative or a tragic circumstance to trigger people. I know some of our players have got a different look on the world, which is important. It's as they grow as men, it's all part of their maturity. It allows them to grow into husbands and fathers, which is the path they're on.